These are 5 of the most breathable summer shoes that you can wear in 2026, from shoes that provide stability all the way up to lightweight, flexible options. I chose these shoes based on tests by RunRepeat, which show how much air gets through the upper mesh when they pump smoke through it. All of these scored at least a 4 out of 5 and most of them 5 out of 5. So let's start off with the Cloudnova Form 2. Now this is an excellent option if you want a city shoe that's relatively lightweight. It's got a really nice cushioning underneath your foot that's quite balanced, but it gives you a nice ground contact feel. So it doesn't feel like any of those bouncy road running shoes that we might talk about later. It's really more focused on walking only. So you have a nice broad platform underneath your foot to give you a stable base, the classic Cloud Tech pods through the midsole, and it's actually firmer underfoot than it looks. Then on top of the shoe, you've got plenty of space in the toe box and the midfoot, and it's got one of the most breathable uppers on the market. It's more of a casual looking shoe than some of the other shoes that we'll talk about today. And if you're looking at the breathability index and you're interested in another Enclad shoe, the Enclad 6 is also a 5 out of 5. However, we prefer this option because it's a bit more solid underfoot, a bit more structured. It's definitely a shoe that you can use for longer walking distances, whereas the Enclad 6 we wouldn't recommend for longer than 5k. Then we move on to a completely contrasting shoe, and that's the Skechers Max Cushion Arch Fit. It's a slightly heavier shoe than the Cloudnova Form 2, but packs in a lot more cushioning and a lot more support. So underfoot, we have the classic arch fit structure, which means that you get some direct arch support under the middle of your foot. You got a broad base underneath, and you got a bit more cushioning underneath your foot. Now this cushioning does a good job at absorbing vibration without being too soft underfoot, because if it's too soft, that means it becomes a little bit unstable, your feet have to work harder, and then they fatigue by the end of the day. So it's a nice balanced cushioning, good arch support, it's got pretty decent grip underfoot, maybe not the best on the market, but adequate for wet pavements, gravel, and those urban streets. On top, we've got a 4 out of 5 breathability, probably the least breathable option of all 5 shoes that we'll talk about today, as a slip-in version as well as the lace version, so that you get a nice lockdown on the shoe. So this is a shoe for people who maybe have a flatter foot that need more support, those that need some pronation control, or those of you who need a higher drop shoe which have more cushion at the back than at the front of the shoe. Then we have more of a lightweight option from Brooks, which is the Launch 12. Now this is the budget shoe, so it comes in at a lower price than any of the shoes that we're talking about today. It's got DNA flash foam in the cushioning, which is a really bouncy, springy and energetic foam. So if you're looking for a walking shoe that's lightweight and that's snappy, well then the Launch 12 is an excellent option. It's got really good grip underfoot, and you've got a 5 out of 5 breathability on top of the shoe. Now the only downside to this shoe is that it's a little bit narrower in the midfoot and in the toe box. Unfortunately, it doesn't come in a wide version, so those of you with a broader foot may need to pass on this one. Otherwise, if you're looking for a versatile shoe that you can walk in, but you can also do some easy running in, this has got you covered in the Launch 12. Then we have an option that you could use for road to trail. So if you're someone who likes to walk on forest paths and gravel, as well as urban use, you got the Hoka Challenger 8. Now it has a huge amount of cushioning underneath your heel and your forefoot. So it means that it absorbs vibration really well. It's really comfortable if you want to go for a longer hike or spend a long day on your feet. You've got lugs underneath the shoe which give you excellent traction on different surfaces. So even if you're in the summer and it rains or there's a little bit of light mud, this is going to keep you really stable underfoot. Moving up on top of the shoe, we've got 5 out of 5 breathability, good width in the midfoot, but it does taper a little bit in the toe box. However, it does come in a wide version for those of you with a broader foot, so it's got you covered there. It's got an excellent lockdown around the heel, and like most Hoka shoes, it's got a great forefoot rocker. So those of you who need a little bit of extra protection in the forefoot, you're going to get it here. For those of you who don't need any protection, but like a nice rocker shoe to help propulse you forward, this is one of the best and most breathable options when it comes to road to trail. Then finally, we have a lesser known shoe, which is the Brooks Hyperion 3. Now, in my opinion, this is a really underrated shoe. It's really lightweight, it's slightly more advanced in terms of the cushioning technology than what we get in the Launch 12, so it's a little bit bouncier, a little bit springier. It's also extremely breathable on top of the shoe with a nice light thin tongue as well. So if you're looking for a shoe that you can walk in for long days on your feet, that has the versatility that you can use for running as well, then it's hard to look past the Hyperion 3. It's what we classify as a typical neutral shoe, but although it does have a very aggressive forefoot rocker, so that is something to keep in mind. So while the Hoka Challenger 8 has a moderately aggressive forefoot rocker, you get a lot of toe spring in the Hyperion 3. That means that your toes are just held in slight extension, which can aggravate the symptoms of people who have sensitivity in the ball of the foot. Otherwise, a really lightweight, neutral, walking option that you can use for long days on your feet, or if you wanted to do an easy 5k. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. It's actually really difficult to find very breathable walking shoes that aren't completely biased towards high-end running. However, if you find any, just let me know in the comment section below. I'd be really keen to check them out. As always, I got links to all 5 shoes in the description if you want to check out the latest prices. And if you watch the channel regularly but you haven't subscribed, please do, as it makes a significant difference to the channel.